Oh, hey, what's up everyone? I was just starting some dry fire practice with my airsoft trainer, and I was thinking to myself that I never really practiced or test out how well these EDC lights work, and you know what, you never really know how well they work until you actually go to use them. So today we'll be checking out the Olight Baldr Mini with the green laser and the Olight Baldr RL with the red laser. If you're interested in purchasing either of these lights, I'll put a link down in the description, and you can also use discount code TLDCO to give yourself a small discount. They also do flash sales on these all the time. Hint, hint. All right then, let's get started. So starting off with the basics, what the heck is an EDC light? Well, an EDC, or everyday carry light, is a light that connects onto your everyday carry pistol via the front of the firearm by a Picatinny or a Glock style connector. And you may be asking yourself, but why do I need a light? Well, half the day is dark, so unless you only want to be defending yourself during the time when it's light out, it's not going to be very effective. Plus, you're certainly not going to be aiming into the dark trying to take a shot. So let's start by unboxing it, then we'll go over some of the features, and then we'll show how to adjust it to different platforms, look at what different holsters it fits, and then finally we'll come out here at night and then we'll test the actual red and the green versions to see which one we can see better in a nighttime environment. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our Baldr Mini out of the box. Just open up and then what's in here? Okay, so it has a little pull-out tab, so we pull this out. Oh, okay. Each one of these Olights has a little saying. So this one says, congratulations on your new Baldr Mini. Increase your accuracy not only on the range. Pretty cool. Then it also has the instructions and all the other doodads. Oh, okay. And then we have the included magnetic charger. I like these because it makes charging fast and easy, and I always lose them, so it's nice to have another one. All right, so let's get our Baldr Mini out of the actual box here and take a look at it. All right, here, so you can see the housing is very similar to the actual PL2 Valkyrie, which I like. Same magnetic charger. Okay, look here on the side. You can see you can move it up, down, and left and right if you want to adjust the actual laser that's included. We should have our switch on the bottom to change the different modes. If you move it all the way to the left, it should be just the light. So let's test that out. Yep, okay, so there's our 600 lumen light, so that's plenty bright, pretty nice. Then if we move to the middle, it should be the light and the laser. I'm not sure how well this is going to get picked up on camera, but it's very easy to see with the naked eye. Okay, well, okay, that's a little bit better. You can see a little better now, but it's really easy to see in person. And what's interesting too, the actual laser's in the center of the light, so you don't, oh wait, no, let me push over to actual laser so you can see this. Okay, there we go. So the laser's in the center of the light, so it doesn't have an extra part of the housing that just sticks out of the bottom or anything. All right, then moving on, we have the instructions. I'm sure you could read all these. I'm going to spare you that. Then we actually have the hardware and the tab that's included. So included is a Picatinny tab and a Glock tab. The one that's on there now is a Glock. You can tell by the GL listed on it. And they include the Picatinny one, so just use the hardware to switch it over to whatever you're connecting it to make it connect up properly. And then we have our magnetic charger like we talked about. I like this because it makes charging so simple and easy. You can take it off or not. And then it has a little indicator here whenever the actual light's on to show that it's on or off too. So the Baldr Mini and Mini RL have the same contents, so I'm not going to subject you to opening both boxes. The Baldr Mini is interesting how it differs from the Olight PL2 Mini in the fact that it has 3 different modes you can use. The Baldr Mini RL has the red laser, and the Baldr Mini has the green laser. You just flip the tab at the bottom, you can swap it between the different settings. Flip it all the way to the left, so it's set as just the light. This is actually at 600 lumens. There's some psychopaths out there that want like 1,000 lumens on their light, but you're just gonna end up blinding yourself if you go to use that at night. Don't do that. Next, you can see the light and the laser. This is useful if you want a fast target acquisition while also blinding the target. We talked about this a little bit on our live chat, but this would be kind of cool to see if you set this on like a PCC to be at like 10 yards and then have your actual reticle set at like 50 or 100, because then you have a little laser you could use for the close range engagements. Then you also have your reticle so you could reach out much further. And the final setting is just the laser alone. This is the only difference you'll find between the Baldr Mini and the Baldr RL is just the 2 different color lasers. We'll test and see which one of those lasers actually shows up better when we go out and do the night testing at the end. A key tip too is that an EDC light can also act as a counterbalance to keep the muzzle from rising. I've been a huge fan of the size and weight of the Olight PL2 Mini as my primary on my EDC thus far. So throughout this video, I'll be making a lot of comparisons to that Olight PL2 Mini. So let's see how the weight compares to that light with the Baldr Mini. Okay, let's start with the PL-2 Mini. What do we have here? 2.68. All right, 2.67, okay. All right, and then we have the Baldr Mini, which is 3.49. Okay. All right, so there's about an ounce of difference. So that'll give you a little bit of assist in muzzle rise without it like weighing a ton on the end of your pistol. All right, but let me show you how slick this thing cooks up to your gun though. To connect it, the Olight Baldr Mini uses this really cool sliding QD system to fit on just about any firearm. Just open the locking tab and then you slide the tab backwards and forwards, or remove it. I've never found a use for removing it or flipping it, but yeah, you have that option. It may seem trivial, but this small QD and the features it gives you are what really sells the Baldr 2 Mini and the PL-2 Mini, because it can fit just about any platform. And when I run my P320 compact in a concealed carry configuration, I don't want some dumbass 3-inch light sticking out the front of it. And those bigger lights don't even fit on the small subcompact or compact guns, or even the mini guns like the Hellcat or the Sig P365. So let's see what holsters fit it. I have a bunch of EDC holsters that go in the Olight PL2 Valkyrie, so I would love if they actually fit inside that same holster profile. So let's see if this fits inside, and nope, it's just not the right size. So unfortunately, you have to get a different size holster if you already have a holster for the Olight PL2 Mini and then upgrade to the Baldr Mini. But I happen to have a holster that does fit the Baldr Mini, so let's go test that out and then see what else may fit in that size holster. Here's our Baldr Mini holster made by 1441 Gear. We also have a discount code for these badass holsters, and I'll put a link in the description also. As you can see, the P320 with the Baldr Mini fits perfectly. But what about the PL2 Mini? Let's see here, and haha, wow, it fits. Well, that's a bit surprising. So just be aware that the Olight PL2 Mini holsters won't fit, but the Baldr Mini holster cut style fits both the PL2 Mini and the Baldr Mini. So if you get a holster, get the Baldr Mini profile, even if you don't own one, because it fits both. All right, so let's hold off till it's a little bit darker out, and then we'll actually go out and test these lights. And first thing I want to do is I want to test out the throw of the PL2 Mini's lights versus the Baldr Mini and see if they're any different. All right, so it's nice and dark out, so let's test this Olight PL2 Mini Valkyrie. Here you can see the light throw of it. That's good at illumination, but it's not just like stupidly, annoyingly bright, but it easily highlights the target and does a little bit of light splash so you can see the surrounding area. Next, we'll switch over to our Baldr RL and see how that compares in terms of light illumination. And yeah, I think it's almost exactly the same. They probably use the same light housing that they have in the PL2 Mini Valkyrie. But looks great, you can see clearly. Alright, next, let's compare the light throw of the Baldr Mini to the Baldr Mini RL. I think they're going to be the same, but let's go find out. Like I thought, there's no real difference between the Baldr Mini and the Baldr Mini RL in terms of illumination. I can easily engage the targets and see them clearly without just totally blinding myself from the light spilling back from the targets. Alright, let's do a couple drills with our airsoft trainer, but instead we'll use the light and the laser combo so that we can see if we can see the red laser or the green laser easier. In this drill, I found the green laser to be a lot easier to see, particularly as the distance increases, but they were both easily identifiable within the light splash of the flashlight. Here again is the green laser in the light, and then again here is the red laser with the light on also. I found the light and laser to be useful, but with the red dot, I didn't really find myself looking at the laser at all. I think the usefulness of this setup would be better if you had iron sights. Alright, so then finally, let's break down the pros, cons, and then do I recommend it. So the first pro is the QD. I know I talked about this a bunch on my PL2 Mini review, but I love that they use this QD on a larger light. I love how this will just fit on anything from tiny pistols to compacts and even full-size setups. My next big pro is how easy it is to actuate that light switch. You just flick your finger down in a natural position. If you don't like it, move it with the QD. It just works for all size hands and all configurations. The next pro is that little bit of added weight. It helps to counterbalance and reduce some of that recoil. Remember though, there is a bit of less is more when you get way up there. You don't like a 4-pound huge light on the end of your pistol, like some of you out there. My last pro is the laser allows for some oddball shooting. This can be super helpful, particularly in defensive situations. We often like to think that if we're going to be engaged in a situation that we're going to have time to have like perfect form, but in a realistic scenario, it's probably going to be far too hectic for you to have time to get in perfect form. And in those cases, the laser lets me see what I'm doing in like weird positions. Plus that green laser is super easy to see. Okay, here we go, on to the cons. First, Olight. Why? Why don't you have a strobe mode? It seems like an obvious one that isn't here. Well, I mean, it wasn't on the Olight PL-2 Mini either, but it's a seriously huge missed opportunity. The laser and light mode with strobe would be way more useful. My next big con is you can't really change the modes on the light without flipping the weapon around so you can get access to it. So then if you were in the wrong mode accidentally, you'd be fumbling around all crazy. I wish it was on the top instead so I could just reach it in a normal position. And then we get to my last con, lasers. I'm not the biggest fan of lasers, and it's for two reasons. Number one, they're only really accurate at one distance. And number two, they give your position away to pretty much everyone. I highly recommend using a red dot instead, as only you can see the laser, but the target can't see where your laser is coming from and give away your position. So then, do I recommend it? Oh god, this is really situational. Is it the same magic of the Olight PL-2 Mini? No, I don't think it is. But it is a great option for someone who is using their weapon for home defense, but may not have a ton of confidence. But I think a light and a red dot combo is actually a better choice. But if you're still rocking those iron sights, I do highly recommend the Baldr Mini, because with that light and that laser combination, you're going to engage targets much quicker. And additionally, if maybe you have like a spouse in the home and they may be responding to a situation, I would definitely want my wife to have something like this, because then she would have an easy target indicator without having to worry about iron sights or red dots or anything fancy. Just have a laser and a light and she'll be perfectly fine. Again, Olight does flash sales on these Baldr Minis pretty regularly, so you can usually catch a pretty good deal on them. I'll put a link down in the description for both the red and the green version. Just don't forget you can use discount code TLDCO to save yourself a few bucks on those lights. Again though, thanks to our Patreon supporters. I love everything you've helped us create here on this channel. And thanks to all of you that like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below if you'd rather have the red version, the green version, or if you just like to have your red dot and your light. Alright everyone, Walsh out.